Good evening. This is the Walpole Conservation Commission meeting in person on May 28th, 2025. Okay. This is the first. Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission Notice of Intent. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw, notice hereby given the intent of Louis Petrozzi Wall Street Development Corp. To construct 15 proposed single-family homes with driveway, stormwater management, utilities, and site grading located at 9 Pinnacle Drive, map 19, lot 183, 184, 183-2, 183-3, within wetland resource areas including 200 feet of the Neponset River. The application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission Office, room 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person at the Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, April 9th, 2025, 7:30 p.m. All interested persons are requested to be present. Contact Conservation at, okay. We have a letter for that
Well,
request.
whatever email, and we have the applicant here
Okay,
to speak to it himself with first.
okay. Representing the applicant?
Good evening. Lou Petrozzi for Wall Street Development Corp., the applicant. We're requesting a continuance for, let's call it 30 days. So probably your second meeting in
I mean,
June or first meeting in July, whichever.
The June 25th would be,
Let's do it after July 4th, or whatever, your first meeting in July.
is that July, is it 9th?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do that. That'll give us time to put everything together.
Okay. Okay, do we have anything on?
We have Warwick Road.
No kidding. Oh, well, that's perfect.
What,
You just put it on.
No, I would have just put it on. It would
Forgot
have
about
been, well, you asked, but I didn't have it at the tip of my tongue, no, but I did go back and look, so yes.
Okay, fine.
Warwick
July 9th.
Warwick Road is at 7?
Yep.
Land disturbance permit.
We make this 7:05.
Yep.
Okay, someone want to make a motion to continue 9 Pinnacles?
Second.
That's till July 9th at 7:05.
Has
All in
anyone,
favor?
Aye.
Excuse me, just for, oh, you're in the middle of a vote, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it's 5-0-0. Okay, yes.
Just wondering if any of the members have been on did a site walk at all.
I believe so. Landis, do you know who's
Yes.
been?
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, I think everybody has been now,
Okay.
at one time or another. Okay. So that's continued. Did we have any? We got, do we have minutes? I don't think they're out, no, okay.
And file for you, maybe?
We got any extensions or anything on here?
No, we do not.
We do not, okay. Do you want to discuss the enforcement order for South Street? Anything new there?
Yes, I did email the applicant as directed by the commission to let them know that commission would like the plantings to be put in by the end of June. And he did email me back today that they are ordering the plants and they do expect to get it done by the end of June.
Okay.
Maybe some variations from the original plan, but I asked them to send me a list.
Okay.
Could do wetland filing fee.
I will also, if, so this is in my report, not on the agenda, about the Bird Pond Dam.
Oh, go ahead.
So the commission issued an emergency certificate for the Bird Pond Dam for DCR to remove some boards to relieve the pressure on the dam and bring the pond down some. And because of the heavy rains that we've been having, it's been taking longer than we anticipated, so they just want an extension again on that certificate.
They request any particular date?
No,
So what, should we extend it till when? What do you recommend?
you could give them another 30 days.
Okay. Someone make that a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr.
5-0-0.
Chairman, can I ask a question?
Yes?
So, the removal of the boards from the dam, is that like a permanent thing, or is that, do we know?
I
That's gonna-
don't,
Or if it's
At
just
this
temporary?
point, it's an emergency certificate, so it's for an emergency only.
Right, but have they removed the boards yet, or no? Because it looked like the pond went down a bit, but,
They removed some, but they have removed everything that they anticipate. I don't have any
Oh.
further knowledge to give you at this point.
okay, thank you.
yeah.
That affects what we're doing out there in terms of the delineation of the,
I think that's a story for another time.
yes, it is, it is.
That's why I really can't talk to you in
Yeah, no, I
a
understand.
solid way about what they're doing, what they're not, but I will speak to what the commission did was emergency certificate,
Okay.
which is something that happens for the moment. There was not a filing yet, so it's usually a temporary situation.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
Conservation property, maybe?
We'll do the next hearing. What is this? Public hearing, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission request to amend order of conditions in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40 of the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice hereby given the intent of Wall Street Development Corporation to amend order of conditions DEP number 315-1233, Walpole Bylaw file number 2024-06-26 for proposed additional work in the riverfront area located at 7 Brook Lane, Union Square Village, map 20, lot 115, 119, 120, 137, within a 200-foot riverfront area and a 100-foot buffer zone. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office, room 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing, the above matter will be held in person at the Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room 135 School Street, April 23rd, 2025, 7:05 PM. All interested persons requested to be present. Hearing's been opened and continued. Representing the applicant,
Lou Petrosi for Wall Street Development Corp. As the commission may recall, we were here a few weeks ago, and we were discussing a second phase of invasive mitigation at the riverfront area off of Brook Lane and Union Street. And at that time, it was decided that we would wait to see what the DEP would do relative to our superseding request for amendment to the superseding order of conditions. So since that time, DEP has asked us to provide a planting plan for the area that is, well, just before I get to that point, I want to just refresh the commission's memory that the commission has already approved the pink and the purple as part of a previous request. And at this point, we're enhancing the additional area shaded in blue here as additional mitigation area, with the green being the, what do they call it? Disturbed area of the riverfront. So with that, you know, DEP came back to us and said, we'd like to see a planting of what you're proposing to do as mitigation, which is a step beyond what the commission had. At that time, we simply provided like a protocol of how many plants we were gonna plant, but there wasn't any depiction on a plan as to where we were thinking about planting it. But, so on this plan that you all, I think, have on you, in front of you, is,
Yeah, I should have a copy dated 5/14.
so we've laid out a proposed planting plan for, and it's been submitted to DEP for their consideration. As I mentioned, they requested it. I believe it's just a matter of a few days before they actually issue some form of an amendment or modification to the SOC. So I'm just here basically to see how we can coordinate this under the local order, or under the local bylaw.
Okay. Landis?
So as Mr. Curtis, you stated, you have two plans. You have a smaller plan, it's a colored plan, which was the plan you first showed. And then you have a full-size plan of the invasive mitigation revised supplement B that was provided to DEP and the commission. So I wasn't sure where you were going with this, because it seemed like the last meeting, we were waiting for DEP to issue their decision before the commission issued their decision. So just remind the commission of that. But I did have some comments on this plan, which I sent DEP and also CC'd you. You should have got comments as well. So you're only removing invasive species you propose to remove invasive species inside the circle of the path?
Well, that's what we've calculated. I mean, we'll remove whatever you want us to remove if it's invasive. I mean, we're not trying to, we try to come up with a defined boundary, but we're not.
You're proposing what you want permitted, so that's what I'm.
Right, but if the commission, it's at the discretion of the commission. If they decide that they want a little bit more done, we're happy to accommodate that.
So you're not taking out invasive and planting new vegetation? So you look like everything is focused inside the circle.
That's
and then
correct.
along the river.
It's
So you're happy to take out more, but you're not gonna plant it? Is that-
Again, it's at the discretion of the commission. I mean, we're sort of, nobody's given us any parameters of where they would like to see vegetation planted. We naturally assumed under the previous discussion with the commission that they wanted a bulk of plantings along the area here, along the brook. So we've weighted it pretty heavily there, although we don't know until we remove the invasives there, what quantity of plantings are gonna go there, but
Right, and that's kind of already been settled, so I'm kind of talking about the phase two, as you call it.
Right.
So it's
But I think we've added more in here, Landis, than what was previously
the question is,
proposed.
where are you taking the invasive species
Yeah.
out? When your plan shows you're just doing replantings inside the circle.
Right, that's correct. That's
So
what
we'll
we've
keep it-
proposed, and unless DEP comes back to us and say they want us to like enhance it in a different way, I haven't received any response.
So, yeah, so it's a little hard. It's, if you're not sure what invasives you're taking out, then maybe having a table, if the commission approves it, I don't even know if they are going to, or DP, but having, 3 shrubs for one invasive or something like that, and then you have a table that you could apply to whatever you're removing. That's just a suggestion. It's part of my notes. And then in our order it stated that no standing trees 4 inches in diameter shall be removed for path or invasive species removal, and if a tree is removed, a red maple of 1.5 to 2 caliper in size shall be planted in its place.
That would be for any tree over 4 inches, right?
Yeah,
Right?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, yeah.
So
And we're not planning on it, but I mean, I just
I
want to
would
get.
recommend that whatever is in your notes of the Ecotech
Yeah.
report should be on the plan, because the plan and how they're gonna go about it should really be at the same place. As well as down trees shall be cut to path size with the remainder left in place. That's also in the Ecotech report. So this plan doesn't change the Phase 1 plan that was approved by the Conservation Commission?
No, except for the amount of plantings that we show. There's many, many more plantings. I think on the original thing, we proposed 60 plants in here, but I think there's well over 60 in this area right
It was
now,
100.
or whatever it is.
Do you believe there's more plantings?
I believe so. It looks it to me, but, when we get out there, you'll be able to see whether or not we can plant that many, or whether or not there's existing vegetation that's going to remain that would take the place of native vegetation would be planted.
So again, all planting notes, including size, species, and amount, should be on the planting plan.
Yep.
And then the pet waste station shall be located at the beginning and the end of the path.
You want one at this one here and over there, or just one over there on the inside? We're not really opening it up to the public, but just curious as to what you think.
Well, I would, at the beginning and the end of the path, so maybe the beginning, and these details can be worked out. I
Yeah.
don't even know if this is gonna be approved, so I sometimes hesitate to with recommendations when we don't even know if the commission's gonna approve it, but if they do, maybe at the beginning of the circle and at the end of the circle. I know
Oh, okay.
People tend to just,
Understood.
depending on when the dog goes, they just leave a bag and they intend to pick it up, I guess, on the way back, but often they
Right.
don't.
Okay.
And then I suggest the invasive species plan, if approved, should be for 5 years with annual reports.
For how many? 5 years? Oh, yeah, well, we already discussed that, right?
Then no further alteration of the riverfront area should be permitted after that.
Without the commission's
then-
approval.
The commission could consider a security for the second phase.
Okay, anything else?
No, those are.
Jessica? Questions, comments?
No questions at this time.
Bailey?
I agree with Landis's recommendation for a plant, like a table. I think that would be helpful. I do see you have them totaling out, but I think that would be helpful. And I am curious with the green area you are removing, but I don't see anything going back there, and that's kind of right on that property line, like maybe some,
Becomes landscaped area with lawn area and
that's gonna
everything.
be lawn. Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's not, there's no buildings on it or anything.
Right, right,
No
right, right.
structures.
okay.
But it's, there probably will be some shrubbery there or some plantings, but we're not showing it on this particular plan. And the only thing I'll say about the table is, we don't know how many plants how many invasives we're gonna remove. So, I mean, we're basically proposing a number of plants. And we're happy to provide a table of how many of each. we're going to propose to plant, but I don't think we could tie them into like a particular invasive, what do they call, honeysuckle that's there.
What about like a square foot of, like, however much square feet of invasives you remove?
Yeah, well,
Plant something, maybe that kind of,
it's kind of like these, the honeysuckle things are like these rooted plants. They grow in clumps. So
Yeah.
you could have one and then another one 6 feet away and another one. So it's kind of like hard to say that we're gonna put 3 plants in for every honeysuckle we take out. We're just gonna take out what we can and then plant what we are looking to do. Maybe end up being more, who knows, at this point.
I think you have to have some guidelines, because otherwise it's gonna be up to the discretion of the applicant.
okay.
I have good discretion.
Okay, anything else, Bailey?
No, that's it, thank you.
Okay, media?
No, I would agree if you could, if any invasives, particularly along the brook, would be helpful to remove anything that, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna try and we're gonna
Right.
plant this, we're gonna do what we can.
Yeah.
There are some bigger trees that are there, but I don't think those are invasive type trees unless they're dying or have an appearance of being strangled by the vines. We're not planning on taking anything out like that.
Okay. All right. That's all I've got.
Okay, Al?
I have no questions.
That's it.
So this other area down here, how is that going? This is all planted up,
It's
yeah?
planted, the trees are there, they're growing. I mean,
And all the high bush blueberry, witch hazel, the maple, all this stuff on the list is on, all that's been planted?
yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's an area down in this area here, which we haven't completed yet, but for the most part, I checked the trees actually today, and the trees are growing pretty good.
How's it going with the invasives down in that area?
There weren't any invasives down in that
Oh,
area.
there wasn't to begin with?
No, no.
Oh, okay, that's
It
good.
was all cleaned out as part of the mitigation. Yeah, it was all cleaned out, all the debris was taken out of there, so there really wasn't anything to speak of
Okay.
as far as invasives go, but there is, once we get the detention basin squared away and loomed and seeded and rip-wrap all the outlets, then we can take a closer look at the shrubbery that's there. Right now, we're maintaining the grass at the top of the slope and around, keeping it cut and maintained. And the shrubs are there, they're just growing away.
Okay. And the second question is, I don't know, did you ask this and I didn't get it? So why that big empty space in the middle of your walking loop? What's gonna be in there? Well, no, your walking trail, no, right there, you've got the shrubs, 1, 2, 3, you've got 6
6
clusters,
clumps.
and then in the middle is what?
Well, we're not allowed to go in there because there's fallen, I mean, we'll go in there
So
if there's invasives or there's honeysuckle, but we're not gonna, there's large logs.
Pull
of
out some invasives
Yeah.
from there,
yeah.
okay.
Oh, yeah. There are logs and trees, fallen trees that have been there for a long time, and those
Yeah.
will be cut so that we can get through there, but they might become like scenic, or they'll rot away eventually, I mean.
So you're removing invasives from there?
Oh, yeah, everything on the inner circle is being removed for invasives.
All right, that's it for now, Jack.
Okay. Do we have any details on your pet waste station?
I did submit, few meetings back, I did submit the standard, the post and what it looked like, and do you remember getting that, Landis?
So that's a post and a container for
Yeah,
plastic
yeah, it
bags?
has signage, and,
Then what happens to the plastic bags?
well, then we have whoever is responsible for the homeowners association will have it maintained and taken off.
That would be the responsibility of
Right,
the homeowners association.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And that is in there, in that document at this time, that it's up to the homeowners association.
Yeah,
to
it's
take-
not in there now, we haven't finished it, but that will be in there for sure.
Okay. Anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Please identify yourself for the record.
Stephen Barrows, 189 Union Street. First of all, I just have a couple basic questions. Has he been approved for this dog path yet by the commission?
Is the path approved?
Has the commission approved Mr. Petrosi to put the dog path in?
No, I don't think so.
Because,
Yeah, it's part of the process that we're involved in now.
and you're considering it.
Yeah, this is,
But if my property line is less than 5 feet from the dog path, would that present an issue? I'm just gonna pass this around. I don't know if anyone's seen this yet. It's the same thing. There's the brook, there's my property line, this is where he wants the dog path, this is my house, my land.
Is that a building
It's less
inspector
than 5
thing?
feet from our property line, this dog path. And I do agree with one thing, there are a lot of invasive vines around the corner of the brook, where the brook hooks the corner around the back of our property there. And I agree, there are vines there. And there's also some vines in the neck of the property, as you guys are discussing, where it approaches his development from Union Street. Absolutely. However, I can say wholeheartedly here today that there is not one invasive vine growing through any of the woods that he's talking about thinning out in that massive blue area. But there's not one. Not one. I've walked through there, I have pictures. There's nothing invasive in that blue area. It's a large area. It's absolutely beautiful as it is, and it's been serving as the riverfront for many, many years. There's no honeysuckle back there. There's nothing choking trees out. The only vines that are choking trees out are very close to the brook on 183 Union Street's backyard, on her property, on 189 Union Street's backyard, my property, and along his property, or especially around the corner of the brook. I encouraged everybody last time I was here to please come and look through the area that he wants to thin out of invasive species and find some. Ecotech hasn't even been back there in the blue area.
okay,
So I don't understand how someone can put a dog path less than 5 feet from my property. I mean, is that an issue of any sort? Did anyone talk about that with the discussion of this dog path?
offhand, I don't know what, this would be zoning,
No, it's the
issue.
building
With-
inspector, it does setbacks. If you're putting a garage in, you have
Exactly.
setbacks from the abutters.
Yeah, my
It's the
property
building
line is right
inspector.
there.
And so I would go to the building inspector and ask, what is the rule on that? It's not our jurisdiction to talk
I
about
understand
setback,
that,
right?
yep.
well, it's part of the plan. We don't want to approve a plan that doesn't meet the
Building inspector.
zoning requirement. So, I would expect this would be considered a trail,
So,
and I don't know offhand what the requirements for a trail are from property lines.
I'll find out.
Mr. Chairman, may I comment just one?
Go ahead.
This plan is a scale of 1 inch equals 30 feet. So as you can see, the property line here in the blue area representing the trail, I would say we're well over 15 feet away from any property line. And just secondly, a walking trail is permitted as a right under the riverfront regulations. So it's kind of like, we're just trying to enhance it with the mitigation.
Okay.
It would be nice to have it staked out, because you never staked that left front corner of my property.
Well,
That would be nice to know, to see and measure it and actually do it correctly.
we're happy to do that once the plan is, if the plan is
Get
approved.
approved,
We're happy to stake it out and make sure that there's no encroachment onto Mr. Barrow's property.
Okay,
We are presently waiting for a decision from DEP, so we can evaluate that in our decision.
Thank
So
you.
that's,
But the blue area,
supposedly
it
coming
must be
soon.
seen by people's eyes on this commission, because there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is pristine, it's beautiful, and if we could preserve it, it would be a great benefit to East Walpole. We're losing woods left and right. A walk through it, you would be very shocked at how absolutely beautiful and perfect that area is.
Okay,
It's not being choked out. There's no invasive, but I do agree with Mr. Petrosi that around the corner of the brook, in the back left of my property, there's a lot of invasive vines, and there's a lot of widow makers hanging in their branches, and I agree. That should be addressed, considering he's
Okay?
taken over the area.
Yeah, I have a
You
comment.
wanna,
Yeah, so it should be that it gets staked out to make sure we're not encroaching on a property line before we approve it. And I think Lou just said, no, I'll stake it out after.
No, we've staked out the property line already.
Not the front left corner by the brook, though.
wait
Yeah,
a minute.
Not the front left corner that he's referring to right here, but this line here and all the way around the property has been staked.
So son, stake out the front left corner, whatever.
Well, yeah, it's not a problem to do it, it's getting the people to do it. You know, the weather, the vacations. and
I
all
have
that.
guys that would be willing to do it.
No, we'll,
It's
we'll
not
take,
up to
we'll
you.
take care of it, so.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
I know when we originally talked about this path, it wasn't in a fixed location, it was
Yeah,
to
meandering.
go out there and find the least resisted area where you're not taking trees out and you're
Exactly.
taking out invasives. But I think it might be helpful, as been suggested before, to have a general idea of where this path is going and have a site visit. I know
Yeah.
some commissioners
Yeah.
have definitely been out there in the past, because this project's been going on for years.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I'm happy to do it. I mean, this is, you know, if you're waiting for DEP, that's one thing. If you're waiting for something other than what DEP may approve or not approve, that's another thing. You're welcome to do, we can schedule a site visit anytime. I've provided photographs. I think the photographs speak for themselves. If you think that it's pristine, then fine, that's one opinion. But in our opinion, there's numerous trees that are down, they're falling down every storm. And these are all ash trees that are eventually gonna fall at some point.
But
So
ash are not invasive.
I'm not removing ashes, so, for your do a site walk, but I think it's a little bit of overkill that we keep coming back here. It's a very simple decision.
You don't have a decision tonight from DEP, so.
Okay,
Yeah, this is what we have said, is we
so why
are.
don't you condition it with your conditions, subject to getting an approval from DEP?
That's not the way we want to work it.
Okay,
So we want to see what DEP's decision is, whether we have any issues with that or not, and then we can
Well,
proceed.
it's,
But it's, I think,
Well, then why don't we-
once they're involved,
why don't we just continue this for another 30 days then? This is, I got things to do,
Well, I
you
think-
folks
So
have
what,
things
we
to
need
do.
a site visit though, right, Jack?
well, we can do a site visit. Do you need time to lay out your trail?
I don't know, what is the essential purpose of the site visit? Is it just to observe the area that we're going to be doing invasives, the entire area, or is it just simply to,
That area.
Well,
What
I
area
would say
are
we
you
should.
referring to?
the area of the path?
Okay.
I would say the general area, what is there, and the trail.
What I would do, as Landis has suggested, and we have talked about in the past, is we would go in there and flag out the area where we think
Okay.
the path would go to avoid
Okay.
trees or,
Yeah.
because you can't really, it's not like a straight line that you just stake out, or a center line that you're staking out, where it has to go there. It'll meander through the site.
It would be nice if that was marked so we could see what,
Happy to do that.
okay. When do you, how much time do you need to do that?
Well, probably a week or so to do it, between now and whenever, next
So-
weekend.
What is good time to do that? It's daylight long enough, we could do it at 5 o'clock, or do you want to do it on a Saturday? What's your situation? Do you have any preference?
Well, Saturdays, the first and the seventh, I have something scheduled, so that's yeah, next 2 weekends coming up are kind of difficult for me. But I can always go out there afterwards. I think I've been out there multiple times. I think it would be helpful if members who haven't been out there in a while were out there, so.
Okay, so you could have it done by when?
By next week, but, you know, do you folks have a date? You know, do you want to, I guess, the urgency of my efforts will be based on what your
Is
availability
there
is.
any particular day during the week that members could?
What's your preference, on a Saturday or do it at 5 o'clock someday?
I can do it 5 weekdays, like
We do
Tuesday.
5 weekdays. I have the little stipulation of if it could be after the 15th.
After when?
15th.
15th?
I know, which is
Yeah.
asking a lot, so maybe I should go by
Well, we're
myself.
gonna do,
Maybe I should go by myself.
we're gonna continue this for either the July 9th or June 20.
Yeah. Well, at this point, we've lost the season for doing this work, so, I mean, you can continue it to July 9th if you want, and we can go out after June 15th, if that suits Betsy.
And
or-
then pretty much any 5
Okay.
o'clock.
Okay, so if we've, all right, so after June 15th.
Which I think is a Monday, but I'm not sure.
So June 15th is a Sunday.
Oh, okay,
So
after June 16th.
after the 16th?
Yeah.
Okay, what,
Could be the 17th, 18th, 19th. After that, I really can do it.
okay.
Okay.
Any preferences?
I'm not available on the 17th, but I could do any other day that week.
Okay,
I can
so,
do the 19th or the 20th.
All right, there you go.
make it the 19th,
June 19th?
it's a Thursday?
It's a holiday.
The holiday.
Oh,
Well, you guys can go, I mean, it's a holiday for
Okay.
the state and
True.
whatever,
Town,
June 19th. Juneteenth.
that would be fine.
June 19th at 5 PM. And then where are we meeting? Are we meeting, like, sometimes we pull in our cars here?
You should come in through 7 Brook Lane, and, you know, it's easy to drive in the site right now, so you can drive right in, and we can walk right from the roadway into the area.
come in Brook Lane,
Yeah, you come in Brook Lane and right to the curve.
okay?
And not park on Union Street and walk in through this mess?
No, because it's heavily
Dangerous to
vegetated
park,
in here,
yeah.
you cannot.
What?
Too dangerous to park on Union Street.
Right.
It's all
Absolutely.
paved, Betsy. It's all paved,
Okay, oh, it is?
part of the road.
It's paved, yeah, come on in.
Oh,
So,
okay.
all that's,
We're dragging along, as Landis would say.
what? Dragging along.
Okay, so we will.
Chairman, could I ask one last question, please?
Yes,
Could we include during the site visit a walk through the blue area as well?
That's what we're walking through.
that's the
What about
area
the
we're
path, though,
looking
that
at.
you were staking out?
That's in the blue area, that's what's, it's all in there.
The dog paths in the blue area?
Yeah, it's only about a 40-foot, maybe 50-foot distance between the two, so. So everything in the middle, right?
Yeah, this is a tremendous area.
Yeah, it's like a
Tremendous area.
tremendous, well,
All of the invasive species seem to want to grow along the brook, the ones that are choking out the trees. This is a beautiful area. This is like walking through Bird Park's woods, if not better. That's a huge area.
Can you sit down, because we have to have people speak through the microphones.
Yeah, you have to be in the
Yep,
microphone.
I'm sorry, but it's hard without having,
I think the recommendation
to walk through it.
that I was posing for the commission, for them, is to go out there for Mr. Petrosi to generally mark the area where he believes the path is gonna be, and for the commission to go out and see it.
So he intends to put paths
So
in the
that's-
blue area
that's
as well?
yes.
Because I thought there was just a dog path, and the blue area was just to be thinned out first, because it's
Where are you
invasive.
talking about? Are you talking about the path?
The dog path along the brook, in between Mr.
Right, the
Yusevich's
path.
property and mine.
The path.
So it's gonna go, his plan is to go into that blue area with this path?
He's going to mark out the approximate location of where he wants to cut the path. And the commission can see.
you know, maybe I can help a little bit. So the path is gonna be roughly 4, maybe 5 feet wide with a sort of a base, either wood chips or some sort of so it'll be a clearly defined path that people would walk on. In the inside of the path that you're referring to, the blue area that we've marked out, will be cleaned out of any invasive species that are in there. And that, we're not proposing to run paths through, it's the circumference of this path that you've seen highlighted in blue. That's the area that will be the path. It'll be roughly 4 or 5 feet wide.
Right, so
And then
approximately
clearly
mark
marked.
out where you believe the path is, they can walk in and they can see
Exactly.
that area. And
I
that's
apologize for my confusion, but
Exactly.
Of the site visit, to
I
see the
get ya.
proposed work.
see, I had no clue that he had planned on continuing the path from Union Street through those woods, but now I know.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Okay, anyone else have any questions or comments?
William Yusevich, 201 Union Street. I'm easily confused here. I thought in the previous modification, this path was supposed to be marked out by Wall Street Development and supervised by the Conservation Commission. That never happened.
That's what I was referring to. It was discussed, if the commission approved the path, that it would be, the approximate location would be chosen and we would weave in and out of the area, not to just draw a path on a piece of paper, which would go through multiple trees, and we'd be on site choosing where the path would go, so we wouldn't be taking out trees.
Okay, but then why were all these, they came and, I don't know, laborers with whatever saws and axes, and they just pointed to them and they started chopping down trees and bushes and everything. And right now, next to Pickerel Brook and my property line, there's 2 massive piles of branches and invasive, native, who knows? There's one right by Union Street and there's another one like in the middle. So they're just sitting there, so what's the story with that?
Well, we tried to do the work and we were told not to do any more work.
So Mr. Petrosi started the work prior to getting a permit.
Okay.
And I went out there and told him he needed to stop the work until he has a permit. They had already cut some vegetation.
A lot.
So the choice was by his workers or him to just leave those piles there. What I instructed was that no vegetation should be cut because he didn't have his permit yet.
I didn't have my superseding order yet.
He didn't have his permit yet.
Okay, so native, invasive, I don't think those workers knew which is which. They just went out there, start hacking away whatever was in their way, right?
Well, that's not true. So I just don't like these comments that are not based on any facts. So we had, as the order, the local order required us to do, had our environmental person there, Paul McManus, to instruct our landscape crew to go through and what plants were marked to be saved and what plants were okay to remove. There's-
But we're splitting hairs a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
so-
you were told multiple times, I mean, that you couldn't act upon a bylaw permit until you got your SOC.
And we stopped,
permit as well.
and we stopped, as you, all I'm trying to address is we didn't go in there haphazardly and
Okay.
do that. We did have the proper guidance as required by the Concom, so, I don't even know why we're having this discussion anymore. I'm able to do it, I mean, so.
It's a valid question. We've answered it. Okay, anything else?
So are those piles just gonna sit there for now?
Pardon? Repeat your question.
There's 2 giant piles of branches, sticks and whatever, one near the right by Union Street and right in the middle of my property and Pickerel Brook.
Well, they're on private property, so they're gonna stay where they are for now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
I would suggest that if they're invasive species that you cut under the guidelines of the permit, that the proper management of invasive species would not be to cut them and leave them in piles. So you should remove them and dispose of them properly,
We'll take that under advisement.
if you're going by what you said like 2 minutes ago. That's what you would do. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree, it
Okay.
doesn't bode well for the overall project if
Oh,
you're
okay.
leaving.
Let's not go that direction, Betsy, please.
But it's an invasive species management plan, and a very large part of invasive species management plan is managing the invasive species so they don't turn up other places. So it's
Yeah,
like
Right.
the point of what you're doing,
So the management right now is to leave them there where the invasives are.
not the cut
Not-
ones that could blow away and go other places. Those
Right.
should be
I don't
removed.
think so. But anyways, we're gonna continue this, so we'll do our site walk and we'll wait for the DEP to give us our amended order. And then you folks can do whatever you want. I mean, this is a little bit
All
of
right, so
overkill.
Is there anyone else have any questions, comments to address to this hearing?
Yes, I'll be quick, because I know this is going to be continued. Liz Barrows, I live at 189 Union Street. My only concern and thing I would like the commission to consider is, what is the recourse when, that the commission can use, or concerned residents when the order of conditions or whatever, the work that's permitted by the overseeing bodies, when it is not followed by an applicant, what is the procedure for addressing those issues when we have concerns? Because when I briefly read the management and the rules, it clearly instructs how things are supposed to be followed. And I feel like, from what I've witnessed, I could be wrong, the applicant has several projects within the community, and there's been many times where he's been in front of this board, and there have been concerns for rules or orders or conditions that you have placed, and they've been disregarded. So that's my concern, is that the blue area where he wants to eliminate evasives, there are no evasives. If there were, my concern is that it's just, you give him an inch and he takes a mile. So he's taken down trees that he wasn't supposed to take down already. So if we give him access to go into this area that was supposed to be cordoned off by an orange rope, and he's already just doesn't, I've personally seen him, he does not, he goes over that fence, and it was supposed to not be gone over. So I guess that's my concern, is that there's no need. If the 16 new residents of his community want to go walk back in that area, let them walk. I don't understand what putting a trail is, how that's gonna benefit the wildlife and the resource area. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay. There are procedures that, if there is a violation of our permits, there's a procedure. We have the ability to issue fines. Typically, we bring it to the applicant's attention to make corrections. And if that doesn't happen, then we would then resort to fines. But generally speaking, there is a process, and if there's something that an abutter thinks is a violation, they should be in touch with the office to bring it to the attention of our agent, and it'll be investigated.
Okay, so prior to next meeting, I provide something written to Landis or Conservation, and she would, present to you and advise whether or not my complaints are valid or have.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you guys would decide, or is this something that because the Mass DEP has oversight as well, do I address them, or?
We it probably should be copied on a, I think at this point, it would be better to bring it to the attention of our office and, but copy DEP.
Thank you.
I don't know what I don't know what their process is to investigate that sort of thing, but I think they prefer it be handled at the local level.
Thank you.
I would say I've gotten several calls from you guys, and if I get a call that someone believes that they're doing something that doesn't go by the order, I go out and take a look at it. It doesn't, you have to write it down and send it in and all that. I get a call, I go out there, take a look at it, that's why he was stopped before.
Yes, so I do want to say, my experience, Landis is wonderful, and every time I've called, she's been out within 10 minutes probably on the property, speaking to him, stopping the actions that I felt were not allowed, but then we leave it at that. He just stops because he got caught.
Well, because we're still in the process. So say an applicant goes in and does beyond what their order or their plan has been approved, then we would require them to do, restoration afterwards. That's usually easier than going out there every day and saying, stop doing that, stop doing that, stop. We would have to apply restoration if they go beyond what they've been approved.
Okay, I thought that he had already been approved and that these were just modifications to the original approval.
So, yes, but we're looking at additional areas where he's proposing to work. And if already he's gone beyond what may or may not be approved, we don't know if it's approved yet because DEP has to approve this proposal, the commission has to approve it. If they don't approve it and he's already gone in there and done work within the riverfront area and doesn't get that approval, then he'll have to do restoration.
But so I guess mine is on the prior approval, if he already violated the prior approval, or if an applicant already violated a prior approval, then wouldn't that be just for a complaint?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I would say in this instance, because he's asking again for approval to work in the riverfront area, so we have to figure that out. But
Okay, thank you. But Landis is wonderful, thank you, I
I
appreciate it.
appreciate that.
We agree. Okay, so, would you prefer June 28th or July 9th?
Oh, we'll go to July 9th, because I don't want to keep coming back unless we have DEP's,
Yeah, okay.
final order, so.
So someone make a motion to continue this till July 9th
So moved.
Second.
at, what do we got? We had something on here. We did a 7, we have Warwick Road at 7, and we had 7:05, so we'll make it 7:10.
Do we have Pinnacle that night, too?
Yep.
We just continued Pinnacle to
Now we
7:05.
have all three
Nice.
projects.
Well, you're still behind Bellingham. Bellingham had 4 on one night, so
Okay,
maybe I can find one more.
so, someone make that a motion? We did?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 600.
And, Mr. Chairman, did we decide on the date that you folks want to do the site
Yep,
work?
June
June 19th
19th,
at 5
5
PM.
PM.
5 PM, okay, so I don't know if you have to notice that, if there's more than majority. That's all.
We'll take care of it, thank you.
Yeah,
Just checking.
So you'll have the approximate path
Yes,
flagged out so
Yes.
they can see where.
Yes.
In that corner stake, I mean, if there's a part of the,
well, this is the radius here, I don't, it's not like, I think this is what Mr. Barrows is referring to, this corner radius. So
That's
it's
the
not
one?
a straight point, but this area here is all, this whole area has been staked. property line has all been staked, so we don't want to encroach on anyone's property.
Can you stake out the green area where it's gonna be lawn?
Right
Maybe
here?
it's green, I don't know.
Yeah, that's already, that's been staked out too.
Okay.
Great, thanks very much. I'll let you know, Landis, when it's been flagged, if you want to go by there ahead of time.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Get up, Jack, get up. What? No, I was actually cracking my jaw.
It's 184, not 190.
Report, where the hell's that? Here we go. Okay. All right. This is the next one. Town of Walpole, Commonwealth, Massachusetts, Conservation Commission Notice of Intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, Wetlands Protection Act, and the Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. The notice hereby given the intent of Elizabeth DuBois and Sam Ramos to construct a proposed in-ground pool with fence, patio, and pool house located at 184 Main Street, portion of 210 Main Street, map 19, lot 12-2, within 100 feet of wetlands. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission Office, room 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person at Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, May 28, 2025, 7:15 PM. All interested person request to be present. Okay. You have anything to read in here? Okay. Representing the applicant?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Rick Goodrow with United Consultants.
Go ahead.
Explain away.
So, as mentioned, the property is located at 184 Main Street. The applicant is proposing the construction of a single-family house, septic system, driveway, and water line, accessing the property, all of which are located outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. What we are proposing within the 100-foot buffer zone would be the proposed swimming pool, the apron for the swimming pool, a stone trench, a decorative stone trench, that would also capture some of the pool runoff water, or overflow water, if you will, running across the patio into that area. Additionally, we are proposing to construct a pool house that's partially located in the buffer zone. And lastly, we're proposing a fence for security around the pool area, connection to the house at this point here, and from the pool house to the main house here, thus creating the inability for anybody to get into the pool area without having to go through the fence. We have had the wetlands delineated. We have proposed an erosion control compost sock on the down gradient side of the wetland. We have also added for the stormwater requirements, a roof infiltration system located here and a material stockpile located here outside of the 100-foot buffer zone. And we've also provided a stabilized construction entrance. We do have details of all of those items, from the underground roof recharge system here, to the stone trench here, to the construction entrance here. We have provided a construction sequence for the project, and that, I believe, addresses the highlights of what we're proposing. I'd be happy to answer any questions the commission may have.
Landis?
Yeah, so I did go out and visit the site and review the wetlands line. It's to the rear of the property, it's pretty distinct. The majority of the area on the property is lawn, except where the wetlands is. Looks like they have proposed 25-foot no alteration areas. Plaques and bounds are located on the plan. So I think I'd ask that if any of that is lawn area, that should be allowed to go back to natural. But other than that, the wetlands line was very well defined, and I did allow them to start with the house construction. I think it's a very small part of the back of the house, or the driveways in the 100-foot buffer zone, but to proceed with that while this process is going on, knowing that they were very far away from the wetlands line. And they filed the fast-track permit, which was just administrative form with me for the roof infiltration and the other requirements, so that no sediment gets out onto the road. It does, it swings away from the road, so it's not too, I don't anticipate anything coming out on the road.
No.
We just wanna make sure the tracking.
Drops
yeah,
in.
Yeah, it drops down. And that is about it. Just, if the commission does approve the project, I just have special conditions that relate to the plaques and the bounds and pool water discharge.
Okay. Jessica? Any questions or comments?
No questions at this time.
Okay. Bailey?
Oh, it's decorative crushed stone. That's what this is around the two sides of the pool?
Correct.
Okay, so that's like flat with the then patio and, or lawn area?
That's correct. It'll be a transition from the patio to the lawn area and capture some of that water that gets onto the pool deck.
Gotcha, thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Minio?
When you're proposing to do this work within the 100-foot?
I'm sorry?
When are you proposing to do the work within the 100-foot of the pool?
The pool, I would say they would be looking to do that this fall. The main focus is the house at this point.
You got stockpiling any dirt within that 100-foot, pulling that all out?
Correct. We provided a material stockpile area here outside, 100-foot buffer zones back here to the wetlands, so we're well outside of that.
You put plaques around the 25, the perimeter of the 25?
Correct. We've identified locations for the plaques to be placed, and we have the detail for the plaque.
And Landis, you said that area right now is lawn back there, or what is it?
Yeah, it was lawn. There was some area of shrubs or growth in between the wetlands line and 25-foot no alteration area, but there was, some of it was lawn that had been probably mowed for eons, I'm assuming.
So just
I
let that
did-
go?
Yeah, I did go back and look at aerials. I always do. I go back as far as I could, and it's been pretty much maintained the way it is now. But once the plaques are in, yeah, that 25-foot should just go, it'll ease, it's definitely kind of a bit spongy in some areas there, so
All right.
it'll revegetate really quickly.
Okay, all right, that's all I got.
Al?
On this plan, I see the area to keep stuff from tracking out onto Main Street, and that's labeled construction entrance. And right beside it, there's something else there, but it doesn't have a label. What is that?
On the plan,
Yeah, next to the construction entrance. What's this? There's no label.
That's a septic system.
Oh. So this site doesn't have sewerage?
No. They're proposing to install a septic system.
Okay. Does it have a grinder pump?
No, they're not proposing to install a grinder pump in the septic system.
It's all by gravity?
Yes.
Okay.
Anything else, Al?
No,
Okay. Betsy?
No comment.
All right, anyone in the audience, questions or comments, please identify yourself for the record. Make a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 600. You say you had an order with,
Yeah, I just put in my report, the standard orders that we usually pass, the products will be put in, and the specifications, and that they'll remain in place. I'm paraphrasing here, because it's all written down. And then that there'll be no discharge of treated pool water directly into the wetlands. If the pool requires a drawdown, then the water shall first be treated and free of salts and or chlorine. And most of these pools are salts. And they always say they're never drawn down, but there are possibilities of being drawn down. It just shouldn't be pumped from the pool to the wetlands.
Makes sense.
okay. Anybody have anything else? All right, someone make a motion to write the order as noted.
so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. 600.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any invasive species on the site?
Yeah.
I'll leave that to Lou. I didn't see any out there. Did you, Landis, when you were out there? I'm sure you would have let me know. Unfortunately, they're becoming more and more of a problem.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying, if a lawn is being let to go back natural, I can tell you what happened to my lawn. I mean, I've got, knotweed that wants to
Oh,
come
yeah,
up constantly.
yeah, it's true.
It
Yeah,
would
I
take
can
over
imagine.
if
Yeah.
but I'm glad that there's none out there.
It is, yeah, kind of damp, so you may get some poison ivy.
Poison ivy, hate that.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, what else we got? Okay.
Scout Road.
Public hearing, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission request for determination. In accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice hereby given the intent of Nicholas and Jean Moise to request a determination of applicability of proposed verification of wetlands line, grading and landscaping located at 8 Scout Road, map 28, lot 06, within a bordering vegetative wetland and intermittent stream. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission Office Room, 212, 135 School Street, or at www.walpole-ma.gov/Conservation Commission. Public hearing, the above matter will be held in person at the Walpole Town Hall, FinCom Room, 135 School Street, May 28, 2025, at 7:20 PM. All interested person requested to be present. Okay, we don't have anything here to read in.
Nope.
So, representing the applicant,
Bob Tomasello, I'm the contractor for the owners.
okay. What is it that you would like to do?
I'm just here to answer any questions you might have.
So this is a filing after the fact, application, so, this did come through a building permit, but when I saw the building permit, the wetlands hadn't been flagged on the plan that I saw. And then, it was uploaded later, but I was out in another area and heard activity occurring from this, site where I knew there was a stream, so I went and took a look, and the house, they had demolished the old house and constructed a new house, and they're in the process of grading, finishing up grading in the backyard. which eyeballing it appeared to be within 100 feet of the resource area. So I asked them to put up erosion control, which they did. And then I contacted the developer and said that I would like them to file a request for determination of applicability so that we have a plan. It's a new house. It is a backyard that does sit within a 100-foot buffer zone, which some activity had occurred to regrade, but also so the new owners know that the backyard does sit within 100 feet of a resource area in case they want to put in a pool or something else. So that's the purpose of this request for determination. I don't think there's really a need for a notice of intent. It's a -3, but I did feel like it required a filing.
Okay. Jessica, any questions, comments?
Not at this time.
So if you look at the plan, there's an intermittent stream to the rear of the property and then wetlands associated with that intermittent stream, which is on the Bird Park property. And then the buffer zone goes onto the applicant's property.
Okay. Bailey?
So will this be filed with the deed of record that it's on wetlands, or how does that, how does it work
With
that
the
the new?
request for determination, it's not recorded at the registry of deeds, it's just a file.
Okay, so how would the new homeowner know?
They should get a copy. They should get a copy from the applicant.
They should get a copy, that's not a, they will get a copy.
They'll be sent a copy by us as well.
I'll make sure they get it.
Okay,
Yes.
okay,
Yep.
perfect. That's it.
Emilio?
So 25 is off property, that's not right? The 25 that is off property,
The 25 is,
looks like 50, I see the.
yeah.
Okay,
It's on the,
Okay.
off their property.
all right, no questions.
Al?
Nothing.
Betsy?
No comment.
Okay. No one in the audience, so I ask a question, so someone make a motion to close the hearing?
So move.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. 600.
So just say within RDA, anyone can file an RDA, but the property owner needs to know you're filing an RDA, so they should have got a copy up there.
Okay, so we need to sign something, this is a negative,
-3.
someone make a motion for a -3?
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
600. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
You too?
Did they sign Main Street?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We've been busy.
Usually get a round the end, or whenever now that there's no one here, wander over. You can do that.
Oh, Al, you didn't ask the question. Where did you figure it out?
What?
About the Scout House?
Oh, it's not the Scout House.
I thought you were gonna ask that question.
Scout House.
He was concerned that this was a tear down of the Scout House. It's not.
The Scout House on the other side?
No, but it's further closer to the main street.
Okay. All right, we need to get money from the state wetland filing fee, how much?
By the way, you know how we've sometimes had to prove that a stream is perennial by like, you go down there in the summer and it's like number of days it's flowing? That thing always flows. Just throwing that out. It always flows.
It's the drainage area.
I
that
know, but it
determines.
looks like a stream to me because it's been there for over 100 years. So it's like a meandering drainage
Yeah,
area.
and about 20 years ago, we had problems with it.
With that stream?
Yeah,
Was that where, I know we had something back there, mosquito commission was doing something.
yeah.
But anyway,
I don't remember exactly what.
if you
they
saw
were
it, you wouldn't
doing.
call it a drainage ditch. It's a cute little stream. Anyway,
Don't insult the stream.
bridges over it, it's nice.
You have a drainage ditch. Okay. All right, how much do we want?
You're going right for the money, huh?
Well, we have to vote on
I know.
something.
What are they voting on?
Money.
Money.
What the hell did I do with it?
Wetlands filing fee account on the agenda, so I gave kind of a lengthy explanation for those who didn't remember or those who hadn't been here for this little project. So I was recommending 15,000, but it would,
What was our last request, do you know?
15.
15? Okay, so we'll request
And that
15,
took
that
us a
was,
little bit that took us longer than a year, but the 15 may just take us a year, but may not, so we may have to do this again next year. That's what I was
That's all right.
suggesting.
and we have substantially more than 15 in the account.
Yeah, it's all right here. in the report,
Is it
yeah.
in the
So,
report, the,
yeah, I have for FY 25, 24, and 23, what we collected, what we spent, and the balances.
oh, there we go.
Oh, it's time doing this, Jack. That's why you just said, how much do you want?
I don't see that here,
this
that's
whole
what I
thing
I couldn't see. Oh, there it is. Oh, I see it, yeah. Recommending. I missed that part.
20?
Okay,
So we've been maintaining a very healthy balance and still spending money and taking in fees, so I think we're okay. You guys are okay.
okay.
The
So-
count is okay.
Someone make a motion to request 15,000 from the state filing fee.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. 600. So, I got a sign here. Today is the 28th, right? May 28th?
Yep.
Today is,
28.
hasn't changed, has it?
No, yes,
Okay, available balance of the wetland
that's for the
protection
treasurer's
fund.
due.
Oh,
You don't
that's
have
the
to do anything
treasurer.
there, and the
I
next.
gotta put in something, what they want. What do we
No,
want?
if you want to put the amount.
Oh,
in the
yeah,
book, yeah.
that's where I was wondering,
The
where's
other
that go?
items are for the town accountant
Okay.
and the select board.
15,000. And for the big party.
We have a big party?
Okay,
We should have a big party.
so, took care of that. What else do we have on here?
It would probably be illegal. Right? We're not supposed to convene without putting a notice in the paper.
But everybody.
Well, we could put the notice that it's a private party.
Administration of the Wetlands Protection
Executive
Act.
session part.
Party. Okay,
Okay, report wetland, we did that. Conservation property, what's going on there?
so just, in my report, it just gives information that Gary Riggett of the Trails Committee is gonna be building the boardwalk for the North Street project. And, if anyone can help him out for that project, he'll be there June 6th, 7th, 8th, and then June 13th, 14th, and 15th. If anyone has any time, they wanna volunteer, we would appreciate it. You can email me and I can let him know, or you can show up.
Yeah, I've got to talk to him about, there's other events at the barn on that, on some of the days that he was planning to work.
Yeah,
So-
he seemed to be aware of that. He said the
He's
barn
aware.
wouldn't always be available.
So, I don't know where he's gonna store the wood, that was the other concern I had with, he was planning to just have it delivered, left outside, which I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Yeah, that'll be nice, I mean, put that together.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And then just the others, the pond management, at Turner's Pond, we had discussed before, Turner's Pond, management of boards. So the week of the 19th, I think it was, when it was dry and clear and beautiful weather, and the pond was at a low elevation based on last year's, I recommended that another 6-inch board be put in, and it was put in on Wednesday, the 21st, and then we got a whole lot of rain after that, and the pond came up quite a lot. So, right now, it's higher than it really should be, and I've gotten complaints from an abutter who lives along the pond, so I did talk to Jim Thompson today, and so we're gonna get together tomorrow and see if it's safe for them to do something, or I told him that, the commission was meeting tonight, and we would discuss it. Felt like we wanted to just take that board out and, bring the pond back low again until we get further into the spring rain season past that.
We had 3 1/10 inches of rain in my 2 rain gauges.
3 1/10, yeah.
Is that right? I figured it was 3. My swimming pool went up. You could tell.
I saw the pond, I thought, well, I knew it was gonna rain, I thought, well, we have some storage, it'll be okay, but got a lot of rain. Got a lot of rain,
Yeah.
and it just went.
It's been a wet month.
Looks like we're getting more this weekend, so.
And we
more,
got more coming.
Yeah, no.
Of course, it's Saturday. It's supposed to rain on Saturday.
It always rains on Saturday.
Tomorrow and,
Crazy.
tomorrow and Thursday, and Saturday. Yeah, I would, see what they say about what they can do. I don't know if there's anything that can be done to improve on the adding and removing boards. Did you
Well,
ask,
I did decide to, I emailed Rick Mattson and Carl, the town engineer, to ask them if we could look into the possibility of a control structure.
Yeah. How much do those cost?
I don't know.
Because it doesn't need to be a big one.
Don't
I mean, it
think it's
doesn't need to
cheap,
be a
but-
giant one.
$15,000.
well,
Oh.
problem is, you've got the existing dam. If the time to do it would have been when they rebuilt the dam, but that's water over the dam, as they say.
It's definitely water over the dam. It was brought up, but
But it's such a small area compared to
definitely
certain
brought it
other
up.
dams.
it was a
Yeah.
cost issue at the time, but, yeah, I did throw it out there to the DPW people to just see if what possibilities there
Yeah.
are. Especially since control structures have kind of been in the discussion lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see what they say they can do with, because I guess it is, there's some safety issues when you start,
Yeah, they have to
Playing
get a
around
little
with boards.
backhoe out, and they have to connect it, and they have to lift them out when the water's, good foot and a half, or 2 feet rushing over the dam. It's,
We definitely have technology that can augment those goals, 100%.
Yeah.
okay.
I think it's worth, yeah, it's worth
Does
looking
Clark's
into.
Pond give the same kind of trouble to the abutters?
Clark's Pond is a whole nother
Problem. Because it gives actually trouble 2 streets over to the abutters, doesn't it?
trouble.
But
That's
do-
what it does.
But what happened in the last rainstorm with Clark's?
I've not heard anything.
Okay, so it gives a different kind of trouble. I mean, right? I mean, you would be hearing from people if,
I don't know.
oh,
I don't think Clark's has the flow rate into it that we have at Turner's.
okay,
There's a substantial
yeah.
stream that flows into the pond above Turner's
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Right,
comes in.
Good point, yeah.
right, we have Allen Dam.
You have
is
Allen
above it,
Dam, yeah.
so-
In fact, it used to flood before we got Allen Dam. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Right.
there are issues,
Okay.
but not the same.
Mhm.
Let's see, what else we got? Appeals, anything new on appeals? Nothing?
Nothing new on
Okay.
appeals.
Okay, so we don't have, do we cover everything here then?
Yeah.
We did get a correspondence, I guess this is something new, because I don't think we've gotten one before, but I guess the health department now, if you want chickens, there's some kind of permitting process for chickens now. I don't think there was before. I don't know. This seems new. So.
To raise
conservation-
chickens?
What?
If you want to raise chickens?
If you want to have chickens on your property.
Really?
Because we got a butters notification
Huh?
that 1692 Washington Street is seeking a permit from the health department for 6 chickens.
Wow. So that's interesting. Is that going to affect, what is it, Route 109 up there? We have the issue with the poultry up there.
I have no idea.
Okay.
So this is, adjacent, it abuts conservation land, so that's why the commission got this, a butters notification. We just want to make sure that the waste is managed properly.
Yeah. That's nasty.
Yeah. That was your comment back to the Board of Health of what they're doing?
Well, I haven't
for
given
Waste management.
them to, I haven't given any comment. I'm suggesting that perhaps the commission would be.
Is there wetlands? Yeah, where is this on
So
Washington Street?
it's 1692 Washington Street, so that property must abut conservation property.
That's gonna be like near Boyden School.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking, the conservation land that kind of abuts the bird machine property.
Yeah.
Let's see, that would be on, it would be on the opposite side. It wouldn't be on the bird machine side. It'd be on 1692 would be
Oh,
on the
opposite side.
east side, on the Boyden School side.
It's all wetlands in there, right?
No, you got the cemetery, you got, there's a little stream
Right, but
that comes across Washington Street, then it's wetlands on the west side of Washington Street.
But as a butters list, a butters notification, how it works, it could be the property across the street. So I believe that's the Concom property, on the other side,
Concom is, yeah,
on the other side.
yeah, we don't have any on the east side.
So it's the property, the Concom land that abuts the bird property.
Yeah,
So if the chickens are on the other side of the road, then we're probably safe.
what happens if they cross it?
Well, I don't know, we could put that in the comments.
I was waiting for that one.
Couldn't resist.
I set you up. I set you up.
Yeah, softball.
Hello, Jack, let's find out.
Did we spend enough time on that?
Okay.
Did you do
Anything
the
else?
minutes?
There
We
weren't
didn't have
any-
any minutes.
There
Oh,
weren't
you don't
any,
have any minutes.
yeah,
So I think we've covered it all.
I think we're covered.
So I,
So, do we have a suggestion to
yeah.
close
so-
the hearing?
yeah, I
Anything
move
else we
to
need to talk
I
about?
don't think so.
Okay. You gonna make a motion?
Yeah, I move we adjourn.
We have-
All in
Second.
favor?
Anybody,
Aye.
anybody opposed?
Nope.